we are live also on YouTube. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and today with the Indy 500. Well, no, the real live Indy 500 are still on quali. Let's see how many walls Takuma Sato is gonna touch during that, but we have the Indy 500 from the Global Enduro. Of course, like in almost every stream, it would not be a good stream without the man with the voice of 1,000 angels. Cody, how are ya?
Hello everybody. Here we are at Indy yet again for another year. This is awesome. This is going to be a great race, and I'm very excited to have you back, Serta. It's great to be commentating alongside you once again.
Perfect. So they are still on qualifying, and are gonna be for around 14 minutes. They are doing standard qualifying, not the qualifying that Indycar does. But in any way, we'll see. They, by the way, the Global Enduro is using the IR18, which is the official IndyCar 2021 DLC by Studio 397, which means that they're using almost the same car that IndyCar is using.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same car, I would say. Oh, sorta, I'm hearing myself a little bit of feedback there. Okay, it's gone now. Yeah, we are using almost exactly the same car. This is updated for the 2020 and later spec with the wraparound visor, and we've got all that good stuff. So yeah, we're pretty caught up, running a very official feeling virtual Indy 500 with Global Enduro. So we've got 12 minutes 25 seconds left of qualifying to go. So far, your best lap was just set by Jan Steneker with a 40.212. Very quick driver there, Jan Steneker. Callum Lloyd in second with 40.599. Can it be beaten? It can. And Callum Lloyd actually just beats his own, 40.562, so there we go. This is definitely a race of millimeters and microseconds. It is a very competitive race today.
It wouldn't be IndyCar if it wouldn't be this way, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, anybody who followed the qualifying yesterday saw how much a race of millimeters this is. And he saw Takuma Sato touching the wall the way he did and still going full throttle, like Balls of Steel award for that one.
No kidding.
Brain of Mush award for standing in the way of who was that again?
Oh, I don't remember.
Colin Hurta, I think.
Okay, yeah. That would make sense. I don't know. What I do know is Kyle Vesa is a driver that you may recognize if you watched the Le Mans race that we did recently. As one of the drivers who was on that team that was doing very well, looking at a potential overall win, and then unfortunately had to retire with just a little bit to go. He is currently qualifying in third. He is trying to come back and win something, and it might just be the Global Enduro Indy 500. We shall see. But with a strong performance last time around at Le Mans, this newcomer to Global Enduro is definitely a promising driver to watch.
So, can you say the name again so I can have him in the screen?
Oh, Kyle Vesa. K-Y-L-E-V-S-A.
Thank you. I just chose him in the... Oh, how would that color be called in English? Fuchsia? Pink?
Oh, pink.
Okay.
I don't know. Fuchsia. Fuchsia. That would be the way to go there. Alrighty.
So you will
Looks
see you will see many of them just playing around, fooling around, trying to find it. They've been racing in Texas, I think in Pocono also for the last month. They've been training how to race against each other on ovals, and a different server was open the whole week for Indianapolis, but still you can try as many times as you want, and still don't get the feeling quite right. So you'll see
indeed.
them do that here. Whoa, that was not allowed, Mr. Steneker.
Didn't quite like where he had ended up. May have been something with the setup, but yeah, it's probably something you would want to just go around a lap and come back in for.
Yeah, exactly. To anyone watching, just let us know how the sound is anytime. We have set up the sound a little bit differently so that now Cody can be heard.
Ideally.
It seems that at the moment I am quieter than you are, so we have to set up. Someday I'll have enough money to really buy a mixing system, like an external, like they have in real life TV shows and so on. But for now, we have to fiddle around with what we have in Windows and a couple of things that we have in OBS and voice meter. And it ends up being what the Italians call a casino, which is chaos. But let's hope that we're getting it right. 6 minutes to go. They're still in qualifying, and Mr. Stenica is still the fastest one. Again, a difference to real life Indycar and to real life Indy 500. rFactor 2 measures the time that the drivers need around Indianapolis instead of measuring the top speed. At the end of the day, it results being the same, because the top speed at Indianapolis that gets measured is, of course, the top speed. It's an aggregate of all the speeds that they've had, but it still isn't as is in Indianapolis. But we'll have to live with it, as it's what rFactor 2 gives us.
Indeed, and it's close enough. The interesting thing about Indy is, you are hitting those wonderful, fantastic top speeds. You've only got a 9-degree banking in these corners, and it is basically a rounded rectangle. It's not an oval in the pure geometric sense, or even in the way that we think of like a tri-shaped oval of a speedway, of a super speedway, sorry, that you would usually be thinking of. This one's a proper rectangle with just rounded corners, and the banking is only 9 degrees, which is not a whole lot. So these cars, they're very low downforce, of course, running a super speedway, but you can't lose it all, or else you've got to lift in the corners. And so setting up the car for Indy is low downforce as possible without having to lift at all.
And one thing that the Indycar from the official DLC Indycar from rFactor 2 brings, which is that was a great kiss of the wall and a great bye-bye. One thing that this brings that is completely new, and other than iRacing, I don't think any other sim has it, is wayjacking.
Wayjacking. Could you go through what that means for us,
So
Serta?
the drivers have a button and can change the geometry of the rear suspension, making the car a little bit higher or a little bit lower, thus changing the geometry also of the downforce. So it's not like DRS where the rear wing changes position. It's a little bit different, and it feels also different. It's not like with DRS where you at the end of the day keep kinda the same downforce feeling, only you get faster, but it changes also the way the car feels because the whole rear is a little bit higher or a little bit lower.
Very interesting to note. Thank you, Serta.
And that change, that of course is something that especially at Indianapolis, as you said, because it's not an oval where you are going round and round all the time, where you can use it if you know exactly. As far as I know, but I would have to look it up. Drivers can use it anytime they want, so it's also like that, not like DRS.
2 minutes, 30 seconds left of qualifying. Drivers will be doing their last few laps. Woo! Pedro Cruz Gomez getting a little squirrely there on his outlap. Really, really pushing hard. But it's your outlap, buddy. No need. But we can definitely see he has the drive, he has the ambition to really get out there and put in a wonderful, wonderful fast lap with these last couple minutes of qualifying here. He's in third, but he's very, very close to second, and if he can start on pole, that's even better. Here he goes around. Looking like a pretty good lap so far. Had to cut in a little bit on the exit of turn 2. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be his fastest lap.
I listened in a little bit on the driver briefing, and I suppose also based on the experience on last year's Indy 500, race control was telling these guys to take it easy on the first laps. The fastest ones are going to be the fastest ones anyway. The slowest ones are going to be the slowest ones anyway, and there's no need to throw away the race on the first corners.
Coming around, probably be his second to last lap. Doesn't quite get it done, just by a tiny bit. We are running a game of thousandths of a second. Moment of truth. Doesn't look like it. Nope.
No, he was braking already before that.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah, he was like, no. On the other hand,
All right,
if
Callum
you're in
Lloyd.
the last meters, like, you push the throttle and see what happens.
Ooh, Callum Lloyd goes hard into the wall at the end of qualifying. Really, really pushing for a fast lap to get on pole. Doesn't quite get it done and destroys his car into the wall there. My goodness. All right, looks like all the drivers are back in the garage. We're about to start up. Yep, grid up for the race. We'll have a quick warm up. The drivers might be able to get out and do a couple of laps before they come back in. Then we'll have a small wait time, and then we will grid up and go racing. The Indy 500.
It's gonna be about 2 hours of racing.
All right, your drivers to watch: Honkian Steneker, Callum Lloyd, Pedro Crules Gomez, Andres Kenanowitz, and Kyle Vesa. Round out your top 5 for qualifying. I wouldn't discount Jorge Lopez as well. He did a pretty good performance at Le Mans, and he's been improving, I think. So it'll be interesting to see. Honkian Steneker, Pedro Crules Gomez, veterans for Global Enduro, and I think that they will be good, entertaining drivers to keep your eye on for sure. Callum Lloyd, I think, is an oval specialist in a way. Not to discount his other runs, but he's especially performing here.
It's interesting that they are all using the warm-up round. Like, they're not sure how to take Indianapolis with these cars. Let's remember that it's the first time that they do the Indy 500 in these cars. Like, they may have done training, they may have done all the practice this week, and they may have done racing against the AI or whatever, but it's the first time they're taking this DLC on this Indianapolis.
Indeed. Notable drivers not using the warm-up: Honkian Steneker, Pedro Crules Gomez, and Jorge Lopez. All top drivers who did not choose to go out.
I always find it strange that rFactor 2 makes you go out of those pits, of the garage, not of the pits, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, it puts you in the garage. Pretty much all ISI based, like the G Motor 2 game engine, they all have the option of, like, you're in the garage or you're in the pits. And typically whenever you start in a session, you start from the garage. And so on an oval, the garage is in the infield.
Yep.
Which can be kind of disorienting if you're on a new track and it just like puts you somewhere in the infield. Find your way out. Good luck. Because you don't quite know where to go yet.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, what? Where am what? How do I get? Yeah.
And it's also like, which garage am I in as well?
Yeah.
You might turn left and actually you needed to make a right, and now you're like way on the other side of the infield to where the actual pit entrance and exit is.
Yeah, so I always look where the one pit engineer tells me to go. The only time that I watch which movements these guys do, because I have done the thing of going into the complete wrong direction and starting the training on the complete wrong direction and wondering why rFactor 2 was not showing any times. Been there, done that. Notice it after half an hour. Well. Say, do they keep resetting the server?
You know, it could be, because our warm-up timer just reset. So yeah, it could be that the server admins are messing around with some things and just needed to tweak some things, so we're good for the whole distance.
So I'm getting the information. The warm-up is restarted because somebody lost their PC, by which I suppose they mean that the PC went down and not that they cannot find it in their home.
I see. Understood.
Yesterday I had the PC here. How come that I don't find it anymore? Honey, have you seen my PC? Didn't you wash it last time? Is it maybe in the washing machine?
I don't know why that's as funny as it is.
Because it's absurd.
Absolutely.
Normal answer would be, yeah, I sold it with all the bitcoins by half of the money that the bitcoins were worth it. But hey, you never buy me nice things, so I bought them myself. So be nice to your significant other, or you're gonna lose all your bitcoins or whatever. The NFTs that are so much worth it.
Oh boy, you're out for blood, aren't you?
Well, you know, I think NFTs are the worst thing to happen since Bitcoin.
Anyways, racing. 1 minute left to go in the warm-up. I see Jorge Lopez and Tommy Teasdale doing a little bit of drafting with each other, and whoa, okay. Was that me? Okay, that was...
No,
the warm-up just reset again. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there, and I have asked once again our wonderful race control.
Indeed. Right now it's about clear as mud as to what's going on. Maybe they lost their PC again.
So it was sold for all the bitcoins.
Doo-doo.
So they are waiting for the one driver to rejoin after losing his PC. On the other hand, I would be quite unnerved if I'm just doing my warming lap and in the middle of the warming lap the server says bye-bye. Not nice. And it restarted again.
Here we go again. Server's looking a little weird here.
Yeah.
Looking a lot weird.
The cars are doing a small dance.
Tommy Teasdale just spun. He goes back into the pits.
I like these images when the camera is at one side of the track and you see them coming towards you with all that speed. I think that looks great.
Andres Kananowicz just slammed real hard into the wall. He's just demonstrated that these cars have a good bit of deformation and crashing.
And losing a tire.
Realism.
All that.
Yeah. Lost a tire, lost a front wing, lost a rear wing. All that good
Limping
stuff.
into pits, which you should not be able to do with an Indycar that has had that much suffering.
Yeah, well, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for it being sim racing. I do like these new spark effects.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Well, we will warm up yet again. I suppose we're waiting on someone to get their PC up and running, trying to get the maximum number of drivers to start.
So I've been promised that this was the last reset of the server. Let's see if they keep that promise. If not, I'm gonna start calling them politicians. testing a little bit the draft. That looks good.
Indeed, going quite quick.
Yeah.
Looks like Cooch trying to get into that action a little bit as well.
Trying to learn how to survive the draft.
Yes, indeed.
It's a completely different feeling. You're like being rubber banded. So you have to be very careful not to hit the car in front of you.
Indeed, yeah. There's suction. You get pulled toward the other car.
Yeah,
and then
the aerodynamics feel completely different. They are not completely different, but they feel completely different.
Yeah, you suddenly have a lot less air going over the aero on your car, so you've got less downforce for one, but also less drag. So you can actually kind of lift. You don't have to be full throttle to hang behind somebody and keep pace with them.
And of course, you cannot bump like they do in NASCAR. The Indycar.
No, they do not. They will disintegrate because they are fragile.
But that was nice to see. I suppose they've been training it a little bit for the race, just to learn how it feels and to learn how it goes and to learn how they do it together.
Mm-hmm. Looks like warm-up is over.
The race
and
quite soon.
Significant crashing sounds from the server there. Alright, drivers are coming up on the grid, and whenever you take a look at them, we will see that there's a new safety car in rFactor 2. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, they introduced it not in the last update, I think one update before that.
Indeed.
And it's strange that they call it safety car even when you're doing Indianapolis. I suppose it's strange for you mostly, but that's the way it is.
Everybody is moving except Tommy Teasdale, who has not begun driving yet. There's a whole line of drivers stuck behind him. Oh, Maximilian Reichel tries to pull forward, loses his front wing. That could really make the start interesting. But yeah, Tommy Teasdale unable to move there. Maximilian Reichel stuck behind. Having a problem here before we've even started lap 1. Oh, Tommy Teasdale, he's in the pits. Jorge Lopez also in the pits. I don't think he's come out.
Starting the race because of that.
Yep. Getting a do-over.
They've been training it so often. They've been doing all the stuff, and still they find a way to get into trouble.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes.
And somebody disappeared.
The safety car disappeared. Or at least I think it teleported.
No.
Yeah, it teleported a good far forward. Looks like it. Pedro Cruz Gomez is starting from the pits. So he is still listed as third. Oh, it shows he got a penalty.
Let's see if race control is going to change that. As, we have two people doing nothing else but race control.
Oh, very cool.
And thank you very much for that, guys.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Pace car, but not for long.
Yep, it's Honkian Steneker on pole. Callum Lloyd in second. Theoretically, it's Pedro Cruz Gomez in third, but he did get a penalty and started from the pits, and he's way back there. So we'll see how that goes. But Andres Kananowicz.
Come in already? Oh, okay, so we're doing. It seems we're doing 2 laps behind the pace car.
Yeah. Okay. Here's Pedro Cruz Gomez starting to catch up. There we go. He slots in. Oh, I'm hearing myself every now and then.
That's strange.
Echoing. Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
To our viewers in the stream, do you also hear Cody Torres? Please let us know, because I would have to find out what's going on there. Okay, so that's maybe the reason why the pace car is doing 2 laps. Lights are off, so the pace car is going in this lap.
That appears to be the case. I'll tell you what, this pace car is very apt, it being a Corvette, as Corvettes have been the pace car for the Indy 500 more times than any other car. The first one in 1978.
Good that we have our resident U.S. American here that can tell us these kind of details.
I just like Corvettes.
They're nice cars. All right, the race is gonna start quite soon.
Pace car is in.
And here we go. Indy 500 from the Global Enduro have just started. And let's see will they survive the first corners or the first laps.
It's Hankjan Steneker out in front. Callum Lloyd very close behind. Pedro Cruz Gomez, your top 3 single file coming along. Callum Lloyd very, very close to Hankjan Steneker. Maybe he goes for a pass attempt. But they're all very tightly packed up there at the front. Kyle Vesa and Kananowicz are a bit more spread out, and then it seems to pack together a bit more. You really, really want to be with somebody. You want a drafting buddy. You want a partner to slipstream with, because without that, you will lose top speed and lose fuel efficiency. So it looks like Kyle Vesa here has slipped in with the top 4. Hankjan Steneker has a little bit more of a lead, but Callum Lloyd still in that draft. I'm seeing a yellow in Sector 1. Oh, yes, big crash. Brandon Vortwis hard into the wall, looks like. Rudmer Kuj involved in that incident as well. That's going to not be a full course yellow, it looks like.
No,
oh no, yellow flag I'm seeing come out. It's yellow. Gone back down again. Looks like they're able to come in.
I know, but the pace car is out.
Oh, pace car is out. Alright, yes, indeed.
So we're seeing the Indy 500 as they are in reality, because they spend a lot of time in yellow. Where was it? In Texas this year? Where was it in Texas? I don't remember. Where one of the drivers was saying, "Let's wait for yellow. Let's wait for the pace car. Let's wait for a full course yellow." And in the last possible lap, where he would have had to come in, he got the pace car. No, I'm misremembering. It was Russell in Formula One in Miami.
Ah, different level of U.S. racing.
Yeah, different. They and not that much oval. I mean, not that I don't find Miami quite a boring track, but that's something.
Well, wasn't that
different.
your review of Miami? Was
No,
that it was pretty much an oval?
No, that was Las Vegas.
Oh, Vegas, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. At least the way that the mod is set up, and I don't have any reason to think that the mod is not near enough to reality. It's most of the time full throttle.
Fabiano Lima and Ed coming in to repair what I presume would be damage. You know, they're not coming in for fuel at this point. Oh, Vortwist gets a penalty. I think that's exiting the pit lane. Yep, that's going to be a drive-through for speeding in the pits.
You shouldn't do that. There is no reason, especially
Not if you want to win.
with the pace car out. You don't need. There is absolutely no reason to speed. Okay, so Senneker was building a little bit of a lead. Was getting a little bit away from the second, third, and fourth, and now that's completely lost. But that's the nature of racing. Be it NASCAR or Indycar, you end up any seconds that you win at the front, you may lose them quite fast.
It won't be this lap.
I hope it's not the bug that is sometimes in that engine that Automobilista 1 also had, where you ended up doing half of the race with behind the pace car because somehow the sim forgot that the pace car was out.
Oh, wild.
I've had that on rFactor too, but it was like half a year ago or so.
We've crossed the line. The lights are still not out on the pace car. Fabiano Lima has retired from the race. That's unfortunate to have happened so early. Yeah. He wasn't even involved in the crash, I believe. That was Brandon Vortwis and Rudmir Kuij.
So I got the information by race control that it should be 5 laps of yellow. So we are on the... did you count? 4th?
4th what? Pardon?
Are we on the 4th lap behind the pace car?
I think, yeah, this is the beginning of the 4th lap. There's lap 3 that we had the pace car come out at.
Okay, because, yeah, race control told me 5 laps of yellow.
Lights are out on the pace car. Yes, yeah, the tires would cool off some. You know, they are still rolling, but they're not rolling at
No, exactly.
220 miles an hour, you know.
Exactly, it's like the Formula One. And pass goes
Finish
off.
that.
Oh, and somebody went off also there. And it got a penalty, and we're starting the racing once again.
Green, 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 let's go racing.
So Colin Wright is sticking behind Steneker. Already lost a little bit of space.
Where is Steneker? Oh, Steneker's mid-pack now. I guess he lost some speed or had an issue or something. But yeah, he's back in 6th.
What?
Yeah. Whatever happened, we didn't catch it.
Yeah, but
Neither you nor I. And I was watching Callum Lloyd as he passed Steneker. It just kind of appeared back in 6th. All of a sudden.
strange.
Indeed, but Callum Lloyd leads. Pedro Cruz Gomez and Kyle Vesa close behind, 1, 2, and 3.
That's what it looks like from within the car.
Kyle Vesa's just beating Ankian Steneker's fastest lap. He just had a 40.638.
He was 6th, now he's on 5th, so he either has the right setup or has the right way of racing, like we're seeing here. Him overtaking Kazanovic. He knows what he's doing. Oh, Borges and Lima have DNF'd. Krulas Gomez very near to him. Vesa getting into it. Then Steneker on 4th, trying to take his first position. Karanovich following him. First.
Yeah, Steneker's really pushed hard to get up to where he has. Oh, Steneker's just disappeared from the server. I think he's having connection issues because he just like popped off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
he was in 4th.
Now he's 7th. I don't get it. There's something going
Yeah,
on there.
Yeah, something is amiss in Hankan Steneker's world at the moment. The fear that I have is that he, has one of these like lag connections that or lag disconnections that removes him, and then it places him right into another car, and there ends up being a collision. Because right now it's just kind of holding him, and he is way, way back from where he was, but he's still continuing on the same path and able to continue as per usual. But that has not been, or that's not guaranteed to be the case, rather. Vortwist, Lima, and Kuj have all stopped racing for form or another. Rudmir Kuj was disqualified. Brandon Vortwis has DNF'd, joining Fabiano Lima. Yellow, yellow, yellow. For what reason? Could it be a Steneker related issue? No, Steneker's continuing on just fine. Oh, Juan del Castillo had a collision, it would seem. Looks like he's lost his rear left wheel and his rear wing. So he had some sort of a collision where he hit the rear left of his car. He's also lost the front. Oh, and a big spin. Very hard to manage that car coming back. Spins onto the track. Good thing that we have a full course yellow going.
So in real Indycar, he would not be able to get into pits with that car.
No, probably with the way that the differentials go, once he's lost a wheel, even if he could theoretically navigate, it would just kind of spin that axle and he wouldn't really go anywhere, from my understanding of differentials. Although, of course, there's all sorts of different differentials, and I'm not an expert on IndyCar differentials, so I might not be entirely accurate there, but I think that before that came into relevancy, he just wouldn't be moving that car at all. Two drivers have come in. Del Castillo is in, of course, but William Novak and Arne Marketekken have come in as well.
I don't remember exactly which race. He drove on 3 wheels to the pits. Of course, he was not able to continue the race, but he brought the car into pits on 3 wheels. But again, it was a front wheel that got destroyed, so no issues with the differential.
Del Castillo is in the pits for a good long while trying to get that repaired. It's going to take a minute.
Lima just wrote in the chat that he turned off the engine for repairs on pits and then could not start it again, and that's why he had to leave.
Oh no. Yeah, there's a configuration in rFactor 2 where it will automatically turn itself on, but you have to enable that. And if you don't have it enabled, you have to have a button mapped to the ignition and the starter. So that requires 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And
I learned to use those buttons to configure and to use those buttons on a league that I was racing with, because they had set up the server this way and didn't want to change it. So after twice not being able to continue the race because of that, I learned, okay, so I have to map this button and that button, and I mapped it for every sim that I have and that has that.
Nice. Well, Hankjan Steneker, with all the technical issues that he seems to be having, He is in 5th, so he's rounding out your top 5. Maximilian Reichel, not really one that we've discussed too much, but a veteran of Global Enduro. He is currently sitting in 6th. Didn't qualify the best, he typically doesn't, but he's a good, solid contender and a consistent driver who, over time, moves up towards the front, and maybe he has a shot here. We'll see.
Consistency is worth a lot, especially in series. As many are fast, but not consistent, and because they are trying to be fast at every corner of every lap, they end up losing control in some way, even a little bit, and if you are consistent, you overtake them and say thank you very much. Of how long the pace car has been out, so that I know when it's coming in again. Because
indeed, yeah, it's.
I got told that the server is set up this way, that every time that it comes out, it's 5 laps of
I see.
pace car. And
lights are off on the pace car.
So for everybody who was not counting, like me, this is the 5th fifth lap behind the pace car.
Del Castillo has been in the pits now for 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
And we are sitting together with Pedro Gomez as he's gonna cross the line and be able to go full throttle once again. Here we go. First one on restart. Kyle Vesa goes for it, and I think he is being able to overtake. Yes, Kyle Vesa.
He gets it done. Callum Lloyd slips in there as well.
Yeah. And Kyle is trying to see to it that he gains some space between him and Callum Lloyd. Yeah, Kyle Vesa is really putting some distance between him, Lloyd, and the rest.
Indeed. Out there in the dirty air, though, he is going to run into all of that air rushing on him. Everybody else has the benefit of the slipstream. And so he's going to burn through fuel and not have as high a top speed as the other drivers behind. Oh, I'm seeing a yellow flag come out. Is that for any particular reason? Oh, Ed Bailey, race organizer, crashed into the wall. He comes in pretty immediately. William Novak looks like also coming in. I don't see any visible damage to his car. He had just come in. But it looks like we're still driving full throttle, so I think we are going to stay out for the moment.
Yep. And behind Kyle Vesa, we see Lloyd, Gomez, and Kamovitz, and even Steneker. And Lloyd goes for... I thought there was an overtake taking place, but nope. And you could see right now in the images how near they came to the wall. They almost clipped the wall. That's not something you want to do. You may survive it, your car may survive it, but your car may not survive it. Break the suspension and then it's game over. So it seems that Lloyd and Gomez have been able to get a little bit separated from the other two and nearer to Vesa, which is no surprise, as you were saying. Vesa now has got the whole of the air in front of him. So let's see how this plays out. Gomez trying to go for it, thinks better of it. Steneker is already behind Gomez. If he gets his internet sorted or whatever the issues are that push him back, Steneker could win the race because he's got the pace, he's got the speed. To make a joke with Will and Wheel, but I'm too interested in seeing how this plays out to think about a good joke with that.
Speaking of Wills, William Novak showing as a DNF, fortunately. Your top four are all very, very near to each other. Kyle Vesa, Callum Lloyd, Pedro Cruz Gomez, and Hank-Jan Steneker got around Kananowitz, and he is in fourth. If his internet connection can keep up.
Which is a big if, as we know.
Yes, as we've experienced so far in the early bits of this race, where he's just plain lost positions because of his connection. It's very strange.
Yeah.
And unfortunate, Juan Del Castillo spending all that time in the pits repairing. He's 3 laps down. It's going to be a lot of work to regain that. However, we're on lap 28 of 200, so it's possible. And if anybody can get it done in this, it's Juan Del Castillo.
Seeing how Cruz Gomez is overtaking him. And this is Cruz Gomez's view. Oh yeah, and this is Steneker's view. Going for the overtake. I'd be surprised if he doesn't try quite soon, as he is getting the draft and getting himself into a good position for that.
With these onboards that we've been switching in and out of, I'm hearing from Hankjan Steneker's car in the corners actually a good bit more tire scrubbing than from Callum Lloyd ahead of him. You know, with these, they're at the very, very limits of their grip to drive through this effectively, so you're going to hear some of it. But I'm hearing a good bit more from Hankjan Steneker's car than I am from Callum Lloyd's, which might be why Callum is still ahead of Steneker. But Steneker, it also can mean that he's pushing harder, and so that might be why Steneker is approaching.
Although I've said already many times that as long as you still hear the tires scrubbing, everything's okay.
Yeah, whenever it stops very suddenly and you go sideways, then yeah, you've run into an issue.
Exactly, like if the tires still screech, then you're okay, because they're still having grip.
Looks like Steneker has a run on Callum Lloyd. Is he going to run the distance or run a bit more distance, content to hang behind? I think so. I think Steneker could pass Callum if he tried, if he wanted to. But I think right now he's content to count down the laps, hanging behind these drivers, wait to make his move a little bit later. Cruz Gomez moving ever closer to leader Kyle Vesa.
Vesa had a moment there.
Getting a little squirrely, for sure. Cruz Gomez looking towards the inside. Doesn't quite make his move. Cruz Gomez not in a great position for that corner in this game of inches. He's just slightly off there. Looks like a driver coming into the pits. Tell you who that is in just a moment. Looks like Rudmir Kuj not having a great day today. Running in 13th. Last driver on the grid. Still running.
Now the four are tighter together, interestingly enough.
Indeed. Looking at number 5, Kananowicz, he no longer has the benefit of running with them. He's lost the draft, lost everything, running all by himself, and he is now 7.4 seconds away from Hankjan Steneker. His only hope, number 6, Tommy Teasdale, who's 6 seconds behind him and also doesn't have anybody to play with except for Ashraf Lamar, who's kind of battling with him, so they're actually slowing each other down. They're not really working with each other too much.
Yeah. Oh, we have a slow car. Oh yeah, with only 3
Looks
tires.
I think that slow car is Kuj coming out of the pits.
Teasdale and Lamar are trying to keep in front of each other, so to speak. Lamar not. Lamar's trying to get in front. And therefore, Reichel has been able to get near to both.
Yeah, that's the thing. These two drivers, they could be working with each other,
Exactly.
hanging behind, running very, very close together, and really picking up those top speed numbers, but they just are not. They're fighting with each other for, I want to be in front, I want to be in front, I want to be in front. Certainly Ashraf Lamar, which, I mean, he did it. He is in front now, but that allowed Maximilian Reichel to catch up, and it slowed them down enough that he's now a good bit behind Kananowicz. We'll have to see if now that they've sorted it out a little bit. Nope, Tommy Teasdale's looking towards the inside. He wants to get in front. These two drivers, they're fighting with each other, which probably is not the best strategy for both of them right now. Early on in this race, they want to be able to maintain speed, catch up. Oh, Ashraf Lamar comes into the pits. All of a sudden, maybe it's about time. I don't think he came into the pits early on. Maybe it's time for fuel. In which case, I really don't know why he was battling it out with Teasdale.
Exactly.
There's no point to that. Just a bunch of risk. Pedro
and
Cruz
Teasdale
Gomez, your new leader.
loses control.
Tommy Teasdale hits the wall. Pretty hard there. Looks like,
So that's it for him.
yeah, real tough for him. That may be a full course yellow. Maybe not. He's able to, yeah, it looks like he's lost a wheel. He's able to get off of the road onto the service road here.
So Vesa's going
He
to
slides, spins, still stays off the road. Yep, yellow flag is out. Although, I don't think if full course yellow is out, we've got debris on the road.
I'm not sure, no. It appears and disappears, appears and disappears. So I'm not sure, and I don't see the pace car yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Kyle Vesa, running in 7th now. I think he's coming into the pits. I think he may have had a bit of an incident because Pedro Cruz Gomez took over. I think we were looking at the Tommy Teasdale incident, and I don't think we saw Kyle Vesa lose it. Doesn't look like he hit the wall, though. I don't see any visual damage. But yeah, we're slowing down. This is going to be a full course yellow.
Yeah, there's the pace car.
Oh, Kyle Vesa skips the pit lane. Okay, maybe he was not coming into the pits. Maybe he just had his issue, figured, oh, I'm going to diagnose if I'm okay. Yes, I can hear you, sort of. Diagnose if I'm okay and see how we go. And it seems that he is going well enough to try to catch up to the pack.
Sure, but that was then a bad moment to go into pits because.
Oh, he didn't. He didn't go into the pits though. That's the thing. I think he had an incident that got him out of first place. Say again?
No, I had him in the race information. I had him as being in pits.
Oh, okay. Maybe he did come into pit.
Slow.
I saw him in the service road to come into the pits, but then he didn't actually. Although, most of the leaders are coming into the pits now. Callum Lloyd, Honkan Sineker, Kananowicz, and Reichel all have pitted in. Shortly behind, Jorge Lopez has pitted in as well, and Juan Del Castillo, at this point no stranger to the pits, has pitted in as well.
So Vesa is being shown to me as being number one, so he should then go directly behind the pace car.
Yes, he's the only driver who stayed out.
Yep.
Which also leads me to believe that he didn't come in for a pit stop. Oh, Juan Del Castillo unfortunately receives a penalty entering the pit lane.
So the strange thing is that the system is telling me that Vesa is first, but He isn't. He's not the one behind the pace car.
I don't think that they are sorting it out. Like, you know, the lap down cars are ahead in track position, but not in, you know,
Yeah,
points
but
position.
on
I don't think it's being sorted.
on the driver briefing, they were saying that lap cars could go ahead and get to the pack from behind. Maybe the drivers forgot that.
Nobody's getting the wave around, not that I've seen at least. Yeah, it might be just an interesting decision from the race directors, but that is how it is showing to me. Have you kept track of how many yellow flags we've had so far?
Truth to be told, nope. I would gather a guess and say that this is the fourth.
Okay, I think... Yeah, oh man, Del Castillo shows that he received another penalty of some form.
Yikes.
Looks like the lights are out on the pace car.
And this is going to be an interesting restart with lapped cars in front.
Indeed. They may have the pace and they'll just have to work through them for sure, or they'll just, you know, move out of the way and the leaders will go by.
And in pits. Start quite soon.
Coming around the green.
Drivers taking different positions to be able to gain some, and here we go. Racing again. One of the lapped guys already makes space for the others.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. Let's go racing.
Steneker, Krulos, Gomez, once again.
Oh, we see a hit in the wall that looked like... Oh goodness, who was that? It was a white car that may have been Maximilian Reichel, who did a Takuma Sato sort of tapping the wall on corner exit there.
And Vesa overtaking the lap.
Indeed. Second place Callum Lloyd will need to do the same. Looks like he does it.
But of course that has helped Vesa get some distance to him. Almost a second.
Looks like Steneker is going to move around in the same fashion. Pedro Cruz Gomez gets very close as a result.
Gomez is looking at the inside but thinks better of it.
Steneker moves up into third.
Showing that he's been training the right way for this race. He's got the setup of the car right, he's got his brain in the right position.
Yeah, you touched on something very important there, the mindset. This driver's mindset. You've got to be very focused, for sure, but also you can't overthink it all, or else you're just going to be so, death grip on the wheel that it just doesn't quite work. Oh, Andres Kananowicz goes for kind of almost he goes for a push on the inside line, and he gets ahead of Krules Gomez. Although Pedro Cruz Gomez pushes, he looks towards the inside. Maybe he passes, maybe he doesn't. He hangs behind for the moment. But Kananowicz doesn't quite have the top speed of those top three drivers. Cruz Gomez does. So he is trying. Maybe he looks towards the inside here because he wants to catch up. Cruz Gomez was pretty close to the top three until Kananowicz got ahead of him. Okay, Cruz Gomez takes the advantage, but now he's got all this space, all this distance between. He does not have the advantage of the slipstream to catch up to Steneker, which could be an issue.
And Kananowicz goes ahead.
Absolutely. This is sort of to the point that I was talking about. If you work together, if you hang behind and push from behind, or get ahead and lead from ahead, let them follow in your slipstream, you work together, you can become a lot faster, the both of you. But these guys are swapping positions, moving in and out, weaving to try to get around each other, and they're slowing each other down. There's a big hole in between Cruz Gomez and Steneker now, almost 4 seconds of difference when it was half a second just a few laps ago.
And Reichel thanks them for that, of course.
Yes, Reichel benefiting from a lot of that. Ashraf Lamar hanging behind in 8th. He's a lap down, but he is driving there like the rest of them. Vesa, Lloyd, and Steneker all very content to ride each other's coattails all the way to the end, it would seem.
At least long enough to get some space to the others.
Indeed. Cruz Gomez, with what almost seemed like a slight touch on the wall there on the exit of turn 4.
And it looked as if Reichel was at the side of Kananowicz, but he thought better of it. So we're seeing two distinct groups. We have Vesa, Lloyd, And Indycar on the one side.
Ooh, Indycar touches the wall on the exit of turn 4. Not a hard hit, but a hit nonetheless.
It doesn't seem to get slower than the others.
Nope. Continuing your point, Pedro Cruz Gomez leads the second pack outside of the top 3. And Kananowicz, Reichel, and the lap down Ashraf Lamar bring up the tail of that. Vesa, Lloyd, and Indycar very, very content. My goodness. There is absolutely no turmoil, no pressure, nothing. They are all just understanding their roles. Hey, you know, if we just do this, it's going to be a podium position for all of us. Where they end up in that podium position, well, you know, they'll figure that out later. But for now, they are A-okay to just do this. And not much
140 else. Laps to decide that, so they're gonna take it easy.
Indeed.
Which is the way that you should be doing it, because if there's one thing that I've learned from you and from watching all this oval racing, is that it's very much a mind game and a strategy game.
Absolutely. You can't just look at the track and a lap around the track alone to find the interest in it. It really does come down to the strategy. Whenever the track is easy, that means the racing is hard, because the track is easy for everybody. So you've got to find something else that separates you from the others. Somewhere in all of this, Maximilian Reichel got up to 5th again. He's not been able to crack past the top 5, but he's able to make 5th for a little while, and then he'll lose it again. But he is ahead of Kananowicz. Oh, yellow in Sector 1, it would seem. And it's not from our top 3, it's not from the rest of them. Oh, it's Arne Markedheken. Currently in 12th, last driver on the grid. He's had a spin. It looks like turn 1. And full course yellow. You know what? This is an rFactor 2 thing, but I am impressed with the safety car's avoidance there. Safety car's collision avoidance has greatly improved, because in previous builds of rFactor 2, the safety car would have just slammed right into the back of Markedheken. But this time around, the safety car actually avoided him, went around him, didn't follow the usual line. Nice to see.
Hey, even the pace car AI learns something.
Indeed.
But let's put it for Studio 397. They did a mega update, almost at the level of Reza and Automobilista 2 at the beginning of the year. That was really, really good. Vesa goes into pits, as does Kananowicz.
Looks like... Ooh, good question. Yeah, Vesa, Kananowicz. Markedheken, unfortunately, is not one of them. He is stuck. Moving very slowly, but he's having a hard time. Jorge Lopez, that's the other driver in the pit lane. So, Callum Lloyd, at least temporarily, is your new leader. Honkion Indycar in 2nd for the first time this race. Pedro Cruz Gomez in third, and Reichel, he finally gets it into fourth.
So, Vesa, I suppose, is doing tires and fuel. At least that's what I would do. 57 laps. What do you think? Are the tires? Is it a good point to change the tires? Lap 57?
I think that they would have about. Honestly, I think your biggest concern is fuel. Changing the fuel out. So if you're good on fuel, you're probably good. If you're good on fuel, then just change your tires whenever you change your fuel, I think.
But at every pit stop when you do fuel?
Perhaps not at every pit stop, but I'd say if you're running the typical compounds, yeah, probably. To be honest with you.
I mean, I see when I've seen the compounds, they were all red, and I think that red on Indycar means the same as on Formula One, and that means the soft ones.
Softs, yeah. So if they're on softs for the whole race, then they'll probably be changing tires each pit stop, every stint.
It's going to be an interesting real-life Indy 500 because it seems that in Indianapolis the weather has not been that good this month. The road race that they had, what was it, 2 weeks ago, was on rain, and yesterday they had to break the quali. They could not do the top 12 because there was so much rain that they decided to call it a day. So if the weather keeps being like that, it's gonna be an Indy 500 on rain, and I don't know if these cars are set up for that.
Yeah, typically with oval racing, because an oval is a flat bowl, if it starts raining, it often just floods. So it might just be that they're running it on Memorial Day itself, on Monday. Hopefully that won't happen, but it's always a possibility. It's happened before.
And soon, IndyCar is gonna be a race of Europeans.
This one certainly is.
I mean, let's see where VK ends, but it was a great qualifying. Hello ended what? Third? Something like that, right? Third.
I honestly can't remember. It was I just kind of tuned in for a little bit of it and went on about my day.
I always watch the race highlights on YouTube. The quality highlights on YouTube.
Yeah, see, it's enough for me to try to catch up with or keep up with all the races. So keeping up with all the qualies is even more.
I've got to say, in the last 2 years or so, I've developed a liking for IndyCar. As they all race with one type of car, you see more fights, you see more going on than just Mercedes winning everything. And I know this year they aren't, but still.
Their reputation precedes them. Market Tekken is coming out of the pits, but still without... Okay, no. The rear wheel has reattached. Oh, I think the reason that you weren't seeing rear wheels on some of them or popping in and out was whenever they're repaired, they don't show up until they leave the pits, like the new wheel.
No. I was talking in the middle of the race.
Oh, in the middle of the race. Oh, that's something I have not experienced.
So maybe
Kyle Vesa currently running in 5th.
Maybe it's a strange setting.
Could be possible.
I have a 27.
Juan Del Castillo just got a penalty. Comes into the pit lane to serve it.
And here we go again.
Everybody but Del Castillo. Green. Callum Lloyd leads. Hankian Steneker in 2nd. Crules Gomez in 3rd.
This time no lapped cars in between.
Indeed. Ooh, Steneker making a move. Callum Lloyd not quite as quick on the straights. Goodness. Crules Gomez also ahead. Quite the switch up there.
Going for it. Nope. It's better.
Del Castillo with another penalty. He's just suffering penalty after penalty. Oh, goodness.
Coming out of pits can be difficult.
Yeah.
Especially if you're accustomed from GT racing or Formula 1 racing, where you don't have to do like kind of half a lap until you're allowed to get out. It's something that you have to
Callum Lloyd losing a little bit of ground to Pedro Crules Gomez, sitting in 2nd there. Sitting about a 2nd back.
And Steneker this time just went for it, and he is almost a second away from Crules Gomez.
Indeed, you think of where he was a little bit ago with his technical issues at the start of this race. And he was all the way back in 7th. He's moved his way up. He's your new leader.
And a clear lead because he's won. Until the next,
Callum Lloyd's catching up.
Until the next one is yellow, of course, but hey.
That can always shake things up, can it?
So now
Get a good indicator of how quick these drivers are. Callum Lloyd did a 223 miles per hour along the back stretch.
is having. Try doing that on your Mini. Not even in the Autobahn. So Steneker has set himself away from the path. Which is now very much behind him with Crules Gomez, Lloyd, Reichel, a little bit of Vesa, Canales, and Lopez. goodness, Indycar is already 3.5 seconds away from Cruz Gomez.
He's running away with it. And it's been a while since he's pit in as well.
So maybe he's on his last drops.
Possibly.
So we have Indycar on first, 4 seconds away from the pack, which at the moment is Cruz Gomez, and then a little bit away from him, Lloyd, Reichel, Beza, and Kananowitz. Okay, Reichel overtaking Lloyd. Getting some distance to him quite fast.
Absolutely. At this point, he's almost 5 seconds ahead. Additionally, Callum Lloyd has dropped back into 4th. Maximilian Reichel has moved into 3rd. Kyle Vasa is still 5th.
At the moment, the battle has moved to 6th and 7th places. Although Lloyd now has been able to move nearer to interesting.
I'm concerned with the large gap that has arisen in the last few laps between Kyle Vasa and Callum Lloyd. Almost 2 seconds. That's well out of draft zone and into like recovering dirty air zone. So it's going to be increasingly difficult for Kyle Vasa to catch up to Callum Lloyd. Although he does have help from Kananowitz, who has also fallen back a little ways. He's down in 6th. At his fastest, I think he was in 3rd or 4th.
Oh, see how the mighty have fallen.
Oh, there's still a lot of race to run. I wouldn't count him out yet.
Absolutely. 128 laps to go.
However, Indycar is hot lapping right now. He is doing... Honka Indycar did 229 miles an hour with no drafting help at all.
What I think he's doing is he's trying to get some distance to the others because he's gonna be pitting quite soon for fuel. At least that's my feeling.
I think he's just quick.
Well, he is. That's a given. But I think he is now trying to get the most of it because he's gonna pit soon. I don't remember right now when he did pit last time, but it was quite a while ago. Let's see if he pits until lap 75. If not, I was wrong.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, Pedro Cruz Gomez has also broken away from the rest. He's a good, solid 4 seconds ahead of Reichel, who heads up the pack. Cruz Gomez and Steneker have found their stride on their own. Many of these cars are quite quick in a pack, but Steneker and Gomez are in a unique position where they can show, hey, we're real quick, all on our own. And I heard myself echo again, like real bad. Very strange. Yeah.
I didn't hear any echo, and we haven't had any feedback from the chat that there is any echo, but let us know if you hear Cody more than once. I mean, who wouldn't want to hear Cody more than once, but with an echo it sounds strange.
I can think of a list.
Michael is getting some distance between himself and the rest. Lloyd, Kananovitz and Vesa. Vesa had a long pit stop, so it's not a surprise that he's in sixth. Kananovitz overtook Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd, we saw it after the last restart, but he very suddenly lost a lot of track position very early on as Steneker and Cruz Gomez just like ran right around him. And now Callum Lloyd and Kyle Vesa, who were second and first, respectively, are now in fifth and sixth. Looks like Kyle Vesa's going to make a move on Callum Lloyd. Try to get around him. Ooh, real tough spot. Gets squirrely. Lives to fight another day.
Yeah, I was already seeing both against the wall.
Yeah, definitely the potential for blood in the water there. But Kyle Vase is going to have to be a little bit more patient with Callum Lloyd. They're rocking and they're rolling here at Indianapolis.
So it seems that the drivers are now getting into their comfort positions and at last getting into some kind of rhythm. We see Steneker on first. Not that far away from Cruz Gomez as he was before. Less than 4.
Oh, Kyle Vesa hits the wall. Still maintains his position behind Callum Lloyd, but definitely a touch there. Although it seemed to work for him. He gets ahead of Callum Lloyd just for a moment at the very least.
No,
I think he makes it stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle Vesa is ahead of Callum Lloyd now.
So, boys
Moves
and
into the
girls,
top
if
5.
you want to get the right kind of speed on Indy 500, hit the wall.
Well, it worked for the moment, at least to get around him.
Yeah, but it didn't work completely.
Did not work. Yeah, Callum Lloyd takes over again. Kyle Vesa back in 6th. Which I'll tell you what, that was a masterful pass from Callum Lloyd. I didn't even notice as he went around. It was so smooth. Maximilian Reichel comes into the pits.
All right. And Steneker is still out, so I was talking out of my...
Nope, Steneker just came in.
Oh.
Just as you mentioned it, Pedro Cruz Gomez comes in right behind. Kananowitz will at least temporarily be first, but he will have to come in soon as well. Here we are. You're starting the second round of green flag pit stops. Pit stop.
Next one going into pits. He's not having the best of races.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, speaking of not having the best of races, Juan Del Castillo had a massive crash right in front of Honky-On Steneker. That's gonna be a yellow, I'm gonna wager. That was a real hard hit, right in front of the race leaders. Man, Del Castillo's having a bad day.
Yeah. But for now, it seems that they're all keeping their speed.
For the moment, I'm not seeing... Yeah, I'm not seeing them go out just yet.
It seems that Del Castillo may be far away enough from the track. Ah, no, but Kananowicz is now going slower, and there is the
Figures.
And all those who went into pits during green are probably saying to themselves they should have waited a couple of laps more. But that's the nature of it.
Yeah, this could really switch up the order of the race. You know, your two big leaders, Honky-On Steneker, Pedro Cruz Gomez, they came in on a green flag pit stop. Kananowicz stayed out. He's the leader at the moment. He'll have to come in soon, but this pit stop's going to be a good opportunity to do that. Kyle Vesa and Callum Lloyd are able to get their positions back. They're able to get back up to the front now. Whether they come in or not has yet to be seen.
So it looks
Oh, it looks like
Kananowicz-
Vesa and Lloyd stay... No, they come in. They come in.
Kananowicz,
Tommy
Vesa,
Teasdale falls
and
behind.
Lloyd are going into pits.
Uh-oh. Could you repeat that?
So Vesa, Lloyd, and Kananowicz are into pits.
Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah, Kananowicz. Kananowicz is in as well. So, yeah, all of your current leaders are coming in here. Yeah, Steneker and Pedro Cruz Gomez, who pitted on the green, they stay out for the moment. But Jorge Lopez is your leader for the moment. We'll see how long that lasts, but Jorge Lopez can enjoy it and get the points. I say get the points. I don't know if there's points awarded for laps led, but you know.
Not in real life Indy, and not in this Indy. Sometimes you'd wish for some of the guys that get into first, stay first for a couple of laps for the only time in their lives or something like that. But
Yeah, well, in a race you only have to lead one lap, the last one.
incredibly, the others don't want you to do that. So Indycar is back. Don't mind the car behind the pace car. That's a bad car. Lights are off on the pace car.
Alrighty. Looks like Hankjan Stenneker is your leader. Reichel is in second now. Kyle Vesa is in third. He was hanging back around mid-pack there for a while. He's a quick driver. It's nice to see him back up in the top three. Kananowitz in fourth. Callum Lloyd in fifth. Jorge Lopez in sixth. Pedro Cruz Gomez all the way down in seventh now. He's got some work to do to catch up after that pit stop. But the lights are out on the safety car as we had discussed. Ashraf Lamar getting the wave around. A very late wave around. That's not going to help him a whole lot. But alright. It comes in. The safety car at least. Safety comes in. And we are off. Green, green, green. Stenneker in front, Reichel in second, Vesa in third. Single file, Kananowitz in fourth. Vesa getting real close on Reichel, better off the line. Vesa is glued to the back of Maximilian Reichel.
And this time Stenneker is not going away as far as he did with the other.
Not quite yet, but we're just one lap off of green. Off of the restart, I should say. Of course, we are racing under green flag conditions at the moment.
Racing on the yellow flag conditions would be a little bit
Jorge
Yeah,
Lopez looking towards the inside of Callum Lloyd for 5th. He does it. Callum Lloyd still has some fight. Looks like Lopez is going to get it done for now. Callum Lloyd looking towards the inside. Oh! Into turn 1. Very, very late to lift it all. He gets it done. Callum Lloyd. Honky on Steneker starting to run away with it now, as I said. 2 seconds ahead now. Kyle Vesa in 2nd, Reichel in 3rd, still as it goes. That's the trick, using all of the space, but you have a wall as your outside space, so
and these
it can be
walls are
tough.
made of concrete, so it's...
Indeed. The spots with the lines on them and the thick walls, those are safer barriers, so in real life if you were to hit those, they are padded. But once those go away, that is just raw concrete that you're hitting. Those safer barriers have... Oh, go ahead.
Vesa keeping 2nd.
Indeed. Reichel wants to change that. He's getting ever closer. Knonowitz as well. Really shrinking up there.
And you're right, Steneker already almost 4 seconds away once again.
Callum Lloyd in 5th just set the new fastest lap of the race, 40.595. He is hanging behind the triplets of Vesa, Reichel, and Knonowitz, so he is just tucked into that huge pocket of air.
I'd like some time to see how the aerodynamics of the 4th in such a train. I don't know where the dirty air starts in such a situation.
It really does depend on how fast they're going. Here at Indy, you can assume it's about 4 or 5 car lengths before you hit dirty air. But once you hit that dirty air, it'll really disrupt.
I mean, that's going to be a lot of vortices all over each other.
Yeah, these Indy cars, though, especially because they're the low downforce configuration, you don't have as much of a hole punched in the air behind them as you would with, a NASCAR stock car where it's basically a flying brick aerodynamically, or even a Formula One car where you have that, very large rear wing throwing air straight up. On these, it really can just kind of flow straight through. Ooh, Maximilian Reichel gets loose going around turn 3.
He kissed the grass a bit. And that's something that Knonowitz is trying to get a hold of. Yellow somewhere.
Oh, it's Markatekin again, who's spun. I don't think he went into the wall, but he certainly has spun around. He is now just kind of sitting off of the track.
And it looks
Not
as though they
moving.
are all going slower. No, yes, no.
Yes, no, maybe so. He gets moving again. I think he did hit the wall and spun. I see he's lost a rear and a front wing. He does have all of his wheels, though, so that'll bode well for getting back home. He's also in turn 4, so I think he'll be able to make it. I don't think we'll need a caution, but we're going to get it anyways as the safety car comes out. Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa! Honkion Steneker did the thing. It was the lag. The lag. He lagged right into.
Vesa.
Was that Vesa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Wow.
Shite.
Well, exactly what we had feared happened.
Yeah.
Would happen. Happened. Oh man.
Warmup.
Kyle Vesa, a DNF. Steneker still able to move. Looks like he'll come around. He may be pitting in. But my goodness, that was... Well, in sim racing, sometimes there's issues specific to simulators that you can play off as a mechanical fault. And this one was a very, very catastrophic mechanical fault. A lot of drivers coming into the pits here. Looks like Maximilian Reichel, Kanonowitz, Callum Lloyd, Jorge Lopez, and Steneker. Oh my god, Kyle Vesa, who had such a brilliant performance along with the rest of his team at Le Mans before unfortunately having to retire so very close to the end. And now this. Through no fault of his own, driving fantastic, practicing so well. Breaks my heart. This is... Oh my god.
What a loss for these races.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a talent. What competitive spirit and close racing at the front. And Kyle Vesa, a big part of that. To be taken out by something no fault of his own. To be fair, no fault of Steneker's as well. This is just a technical issue that just kind of happened. But we thought that the issues might have been over. Hadn't seen them in a while for Steneker. They had just set him back and him alone at the beginning of this race, but and on a caution even. Well, that's sim racing for you. It has its ups. Boy, does it have its ups, but sometimes, man, it has its downs.
Oh, Pedro Curlas Gomez lost energy and has DNF.
Oh man, two very very competitive racers there. Yeah, Pedro Cruz Gomez, contender. I mean, Kyle Vesa as well, but both drivers contenders for the win overall here. Having to leave at pretty much the halfway mark. This is unfortunate. That's the tricky thing, though, about the Indy 500, both in real life and in sim racing. But to finish first you must finish, as the old adage goes. It's just, there's heartbreak in these stories. There is heartbreak. Well, this is the halfway mark. Doing it under caution. And then there were 10. 16 drivers started this race. Unfortunately, we have lost 6 of them. Or 5 of them, I think. No. 6 of them. 6 of them. My math was right the first time.
Well, you're a graphic designer. Nobody expects you to know maths.
Actually, I was helping teach a design thinking workshop on Thursday, and we were adding up how many people were sitting at tables or some sort of thing like that, and I got my math wildly wrong. I'll admit it. I absolutely screwed the pooch on it, and the guy, the guy who like was running the venue kind of looked at me funny, and I was like, I'm a designer. I'm not a mathematician, man. So yeah, yep, absolutely. My worst subject in school, and I was fortunate enough to only have low A's. Wasn't any worse than that. But, mental math, especially fast mental math, not something I can do. I'm actually pretty good at math. I'm just terribly slow at it. Callum Lloyd back out on track. I believe he came in for something, or at least I saw him dipping down, if it wasn't him in proper. He's in second. Maximilian Reichel's in first, which I had mentioned Maximilian Reichel at the start of this race as somebody to watch. A consistent and clean driver, and he has so far stayed true to that. He has avoided any major incidents. He has just been trucking along. He's not been particularly super fast, but his consistency has been key. Lights are out on the pace car. So as soon as we come around, we will be back to green, which is a whole lot more interesting than running under caution. Here we go. Starting all mixed up, so they'll have to work their way through the lap down traffic. Tommy Teasdale is the one who will cross the line first there in 8th. Maximilian Reichel here. He is your leader in the Hitachi sponsored car. Absolutely, Callum Lloyd in the Arrow. Very, very close behind him. Ooh, has the overspeed, Callum Lloyd.
Yeah, but trying on the upper side, I don't think that's going to stick.
Oh, I think it will.
Yes, it does.
Callum Lloyd had quite the overspeed. Wonderful, wonderful start there. Now he's trying to get around the outside of Ed Bailey. The outside worked for him before. Now it works for him again. Getting around lap down cars is a bit easier, though.
Also because the others get stuck in traffic.
Well, Callum Lloyd is taking the position that Honkian Steneker previously assumed, where he's in front and he is running away with it. He is now 2 seconds ahead of Reichel, and he's going for a 3-wide pass maybe here. Oh, Tommy Teasdale gets a little bit of extra speed, so they don't quite go 3 wide. But he gets around Ashraf Lamar, running in 5th. Only 4 drivers on the lead lap. Oh man, I hadn't stopped to think about that.
Yep.
Now he goes around Tommy Teasdale. And it's clean air from here on out for Callum Lloyd. Reichel lost position to Kananowitz. Who is now in 2nd. Reichel still 3rd behind. Steneker in 4th. That's not somebody you want in your rearview mirror.
True that.
Kananowitz going for a double pass maybe. Gets the first one done. Doesn't go for it for the second.
And the longer it takes him to pass the lap driver, the better for Lloyd, of course.
Reichel passing Lamar on the inside. Callum Lloyd still 2 seconds ahead. No more, no less. I say that, and now it starts expanding. 2.5 seconds. A lot of tight racing here, but a lot of these drivers are separated by the lap down traffic. A lot of that to work through here.
Kananowitz getting overtaken by the lap driver?
I think it's more he's trying to get ahead of Teasdale, and Teasdale's just not letting him by. Reichel, though, is taking that opportunity to try to get towards the inside of him. Maybe not, maybe. Honkian Steneker and Reichel are side by side. Probably not the best move for Reichel as he loses the position to Steneker.
Yeah, he, I don't know, lost concentration or whatever, and now he's lost a couple of positions.
Uh-oh, yellow flag is out. Arn Markatekin crashed yet again. He just goes on ahead and retires, teleports back into the garage. So I don't think we're going to see much of that later on. Hopefully we don't get a... Uh-oh.
Yep, we are.
Oh no. He's not even there anymore! Well, this is an absolutely pointless full course yellow. Although I understand they may have it automated to where anytime there's a yellow, it's a full course yellow, because in oval racing there is no sector yellow. It is all full course or nothing. No double yellows. It's just a yellow. Indeed. Not that he won't be able to find them again.
And Kananowitz goes into pit.
Reichel, yeah. Oh, you know what I'm noticing? This is awesome, because one of my previous pet peeves, the safety car used to be the Corvette C6R. It was the C6 race car. And it was just in, like, a white pace car livery. And now, it's still a C6 Corvette, but it's an actual road-going Corvette, like it would be on an actual safety car. Which is nice to see. I think that's neat.
You gotta be a Corvette fan to see those differences, because I don't.
The previous one, it was very wide, very low. This one has like actual car ground clearance, and it doesn't have the like super wide fender flares of the race car.
But wouldn't you use a race car as the pace car? Not only because it rhymes?
Oh, haha, but no. Most pace cars are road cars. If you look at Formula One, that's a road car. If you look at any other series, they use the road-going versions. It's typically used as a form of advertising for that manufacturer.
But they have to go fast, so you wouldn't take them.
Well, that's why they use sports cars.
Whoop!
Oh.
There.
It looked like Reichel trying to like duck in and maybe go into the pits, but he decided too late to do so.
So I don't know if he kissed the wall. I didn't see it from here.
I don't think so. I think he got real close to slamming into the corner barrier, though. Which would have been a very anticlimactic end to his race.
Yeah. Not the kind of end that you want to see.
No.
Not the kind of move that you should be doing.
Nope.
Lloyd's trying to see if he can go side by side with the safety car or what.
He's just inspecting the details, you know, the differences between the new safety car and the previous one. Something to do while he's bored sitting in the lead.
Yeah.
Well, it's officially been, I think, about 2 hours. I don't know how long we've been streaming for, but
2.5.
I think since we started the race, yeah. Yeah, so 2.5 hours since quali began.
Lights are off on the pace car. Funny that the system shows Kyle Vesa as being into pit when he clearly DNF'd.
Yeah, and that's interesting to note, because it had previously shown him as a DNF. And here we go again. Green, green, green. Kananowicz already trying to get ahead of Steiner, been able to keep the second. Of course, going on the attack against Lloyd, and I think he's gonna make it stick. Let's see. It looks as though he has more speed than Lloyd. One lap since we started. Lloyd, Steiner, Kananowicz, 1, 2, 3. Still not going for the move, but very soon he keeps behind Lloyd for now. It's getting nearer. Again, one lap gone. Might be that Steiner is just taking it easy and keeping behind Lloyd because he knows he can go fast this way. Well, you remember the original top three that were just content to ride with each other till the end. It was Steiner, Lloyd, and Vesa.
Yep. So if Kananowicz learned something from it, it's going to be staying this way for a couple of laps.
Hopefully. A bit more of a battle going on back behind. Maximilian Reichel's riding along in 4th. Ashraf Lamar in 5th. Tommy Teasdale's now in 6th. Some drivers who we hadn't really seen as competitors until now, but they've been hanging back, ready to make their moves. And here they are, Pedro Cruz Gomez and Kyle Vesa out of the way. Fortunately, it's allowed these drivers to move on up, which is not unfortunate. Hankjan Steiner has fallen behind into 3rd place. Still quick, but Kananowicz and Lloyd are drafting buddies. Steiner's all alone.
Yeah, losing quite the space to the other two.
Indeed. Hankjan Steiner very, very fast, all on his own, as we've seen. However, there is that issue of dirty air forming back behind those drivers in front. Might be an issue, might not. 80 laps to go to find out.
And as you said, Cody, we can see here on board that they are doing like 90-degree corners, and then a little bit or a longer or a shorter straight, and then 90-degree corners. As you were saying, it's not really a
No, not quite. Although this is really the only track. I might get some criticism from the NASCAR and IndyCar fandom for saying this, but this is really the only track where the corners being numbered 1 through 4 make sense, because on most ovals it's just 2 corners. This one's actually 4 corners.
Although there's 3 ovals like Pocono where you could say it's 3 corners. But yeah, I get what you say.
Yeah, and those don't even count as corners. Those are just kind of curved straights. But yeah, that's my hot take for oval racing for today. Well, Callum Lloyd not quite able to run away from Kananowicz as he has run away from the other drivers.
On the other hand, Kananowicz not being able to overtake, and Staneker coming near.
Absolutely. They're hot on his heels.
Staneker, who had lost the contact to these two, now got the contact once again.
I'm telling you, he's quick all by himself.
Yeah, but why did he lose the contact then? Did he clip the wall and we didn't see it?
I'm not quite sure. It may have just been that he lost concentration for a moment. He can't be 100% of the time. I think that's probably what happened. But whatever happened, he's found it again, and he is getting very, very near to Kananowicz.
Quite soon behind the lap car. Let's see how well or not that goes. Lloyd just...
Was that a touch? I don't know if it was a touch or not, but it was real close.
Sure. It was very, very near, so he may just have spit on the wall. It was really, really, really close. I mean, that's what you want, to be very close without really touching.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's that place at Norrisring where the DTM cars always came a very, very thin page away from the wall. So we have Lloyd, Kananowicz and Staneker very close to each other. I suppose being able to get the draft. Staneker now a little bit behind. Not really something to
Stinker's about a second back from Kananowitz. It certainly doesn't look that long.
No, I think it's a second back from Lloyd.
Oh, okay, that could be it. That seems a bit more apt.
Yeah, I have it on gap to leader. Interesting. There is a lapped car, but that lapped car isn't that slow as they don't get near it enough.
No, yeah, it's, I think that is Atref Lamar, who's got his own speed for sure.
Yeah.
Just at 223 miles an hour on the front stretch. Callum Lloyd here, I think I've seen him doing about 224, maybe 225 every now and then. Taking a look here at the turn 3 speed trap. 228, there you go. So he's got some overspeed on him, but it's slow catching up. Imagine you're that far away from somebody and you're driving up to them at 6 miles an hour. That's about the difference. Speaking of which, a new record was recently set in practice for the Indy 500.
Yeah, VK, right? 335 or something like that? 336, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it was in kilometers, but it was 244 miles an hour. 20 miles an hour over the previous record, which is just nuts.
It's gonna be an interesting race next week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been quite interesting the whole Indycar. Last year it was already interesting, this year even more.
Yeah, these new cars make for such great racing, and it's only gotten better.
And Colton Herta 2 weeks ago, did a great race on the wet on Indy Road.
Mm-hmm.
He must have been hitting the wall with his head because he did an unnecessary error in the wet and lost control all by himself.
Uh-oh, yellow flag. It looks like Ed Bailey.
Yeah.
Spun on his own.
We're gonna pass him quite soon. There he goes.
Indeed. He dips down to the inside. Leaders pass him on the outside. Textbook how that should be. Maybe, I hope not, but maybe we actually end up seeing a car come out. We'll find out very shortly. But I don't think we'll need one. That's for sure. Okay, no, it doesn't look like it.
Lamar mowing the lawn a little bit on that curve.
233 miles an hour from Honkian Stiniker. They're in third place. These cars in the pack are the fastest things in motorsport.
Yeah. Truth to be told, they are made for this kind of racing. So.
It's in the name.
And for those who don't know, Indycar uses 3 different types of cars, so to speak. There's a big setup change in the cars between short oval, long oval, and road racing?
Absolutely. That manifests itself primarily in the aero packages for the front wing and the rear wing that you see. So if you take a look at these cars, but we'll look at the rear wing first. It's just basically a very, very small, thin strip of metal, and that's for the maximum amount of drag reduction. These cars are trying to go as fast as they can, as far as they can. You don't really need all that much downforce for them. However, if you look at them on an oval, like a shorter oval than this, they have kind of larger wings. And then if you look at them on a road course, they have this huge, big setup that goes on the rear, like this big, wing that you would see in like, a Formula Series anywhere else.
Texas is a short oval, right?
Texas is a regular speedway. It's a 1.5 mile circuit.
Okay. So which one of the 4 oval races in the whole Indycar is the short oval?
I can't remember which short tracks Indycar goes to. I could name short ovals all day long, but I don't know the ones that Indycar goes to this season. Iowa's a shorter track. It's more of a speedway, but it's smaller than Texas.
And on Bon Marito.
Bon Marito. Oh, okay.
Those are the four ovals that they race.
So, Bon Marito. Oh, that's Gateway. Okay, wow, yeah. Gateway is not a track that I think about a lot. That's an interesting one because it's kind of like Darlington in that one corner is a larger radius than the other corner, which is tighter. And so it's really hard to set up for because, are you setting it up for a wide corner or a small corner?
Yep.
Neither.
And it's going to be the last year that they drive at Belle Isle in Detroit.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
We're going to be saying goodbye to Belle Isle as next year they're going to be racing somewhere else. In Detroit, but somewhere else.
Steneker looking at second. Looks like he gets it. Kananowitz in third. Our first pass we've seen from the leaders in a little bit. They've been fairly content to run as they have been. Steneker changing up his strategy a little bit. We're 60 laps to the finish, so it might be time to start making some moves. But Steneker got a bit more aggressive with Kananowitz there, starting to run some more defensive lines.
But as soon as they do that, they lose contact to Lloyd.
Indeed.
On the other hand, we both know Steneker is quite fast alone, so he doesn't really need the draft.
Indeed, but as is Lloyd. Lloyd is also quite quick. I don't know if Steneker can necessarily catch up to Lloyd without the draft. Oh! Lloyd pulls into the pits. It's time for our next round of pit stops.
Maybe the last one?
Could be.
With 58 laps to go, let's say top up.
I'd say fill up all the way.
Yeah.
I think that Lloyd is going to maybe have a interesting time making it to the end on fuel. The other drivers who are staying out a few more laps might be able to push a bit more.
Maybe he had to. maybe.
Oh, I
Is
could
it not even
definitely see
fuel?
that. But yep, right now it's just Stiniker and Kanonowitz. Way out in front there. Maximilian Reichel is a solid 15.5 seconds behind now. Callum Lloyd's coming out of the pits. He's in 4th. 43 seconds behind Stiniker and Kanonowitz, who are due for a pit stop, as is Reichel. So don't count Callum Lloyd out of it. That would be very dumb.
Yeah, these guys will have to pit at least once. I don't think more than once, but once for sure. And as we're saying it, Staniker goes into pit.
Kanonowitz stays out for another lap, though.
Yeah, he had a moment there. Car was going sideways for a small moment.
Yeah, Kanonowitz, he's been out for a while. He's going to be on some, like very little fuel, so he's got top speed and all that, but also his tires are going to be screaming at him. Please, kill me.
Let us go. And he comes.
Yeah, and he comes. He sees the writing on the wall.
And therefore tries to avoid the wall.
Go ahead.
Michael is gonna be very happy because for once he is on first place, but that's not gonna take long.
Indeed. As Kanonowitz comes into the pits to take a pit stop, so will I. I'll be back in a moment.
So I expect to see Reichel go into pits quite soon, if not this lap, then next. Not this lap. And Steneca making the new best lap time. Oh, Reichel staying out once again, and we have yellow. What happened there? Any issues? Steneca all alone did the best time registered here. But should Reichel be able to stay out all the time, he would win, of course, but I don't think so. Still, he's staying out more than I thought. That, of course, will shorten his pit stop, as he doesn't have to put that much fuel in, and that makes it shorter. Even so, fueled up with, I would say, cold tires, Steneker is gaining ground on Reichel. Which goes again to show how fast he is. Reichel staying out. Lloyd is 7 seconds away from Steneker. And Reichel goes into pits. About time. So because of different pit stop strategies, now we have Steneker on first, and he is 8 seconds away, 7 seconds away from Lloyd. And Kananoid's about 3 seconds away. Steneker is able to gain time continuously to Lloyd. So he may have had chosen a strategy that's gonna put him on the path to winning, even if we still have 50 laps to go. Of course, the next pace car would destroy any kind of strategy that Steneker had with regards to gaining speed. We'll have to see. Ooh, the lapped cars are getting in the way. We're getting in the way, okay. Steneker is already 10 seconds away from Lloyd. Getting a good distance. So we still have places 1 to 3 Steneker and Kananoids, but not as near to each other, not as contended as it was a couple of laps ago before the last, what we expect to be the last round of pit stops. So if everything goes right, Steneker is gonna end up the way that he started this race, in first place.
Indeed he shall. Hey, I'm back.
After some to's and fro's and some issues with his network.
Yes, an issue with his network that ended up incidentally taking out Kyle Vesa, who was a contender for this title as well. Kananowitz and Reichel have been the two come-from-behind contenders here in this race. Moving into third and fourth, respectively.
Yeah, but it seems the different pit strategies have ended up getting Lloyd and Kananowitz quite away from Steneker. So barring any pace car, and I don't think we're going to be seeing it again, but never say never. And maybe I jinxed it and it's going next lap. Steneker is gaining ground, not even slightly, but almost half a second to 1 second per lap. So whatever he did with his setup, he did it right.
He's calm, he is consistent, and he is very, very quick in a straight line, which is all great things, and they're why he's in first.
And he doesn't lose that much speed on the corners. I mean, he's taking the corner at 350. And on the straight, he just did 360 at some point.
And he pretty much remains flat out through the whole
Yep.
corner as well. I mean, most of these drivers are, but he's especially able to carry speed through the corners.
And the interesting thing is also he's not changing gears. He set up the gearing so that he just keeps on fifth all the time. Okay, now that
He
I
goes
see it,
into
he
sixth
goes
at the
into
end.
sixth. Yeah, he heard me.
He's got the stream on. There you go. He's listening in.
Exactly. So Steneker is already 24 seconds away from Lloyd.
Looks about right.
What could be happening soon at some point in the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 laps is that Kananowitz gets nearer to Lloyd. He's only 2 seconds away, you know. He was further away before.
Yeah, he's definitely catching up to Lloyd. Lloyd, a quick driver in his own right. Kananowitz has sort of come from away, and he's been a contender. So I think it's possible. He's 2.1 right now, 2.142, 2.145, 2.138, 2.119. Yeah, he's catching up to him. Oh boy! It looks like Tommy Teasdale very nearly lost it. Holy cow! Got very loose there. That was right ahead of Kananowitz. Yeah, Kananowitz 1.8 seconds back from Lloyd.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a battle between Lloyd and Kananowitz on the last laps.
Yeah, 163 of 200. We're gearing up towards the end of this. Now this is interesting. Kananowicz is staying in 5th gear through this whole track.
And if you look at his speed, you see the difference to Steneker.
Mm-hmm.
As when he goes into the corner, he goes down to 340, 335 kilometers per hour. While Steneker is 350. Steneker's goes from 360 to 350, but doesn't go there. While Kananowicz goes from 350 something, sometimes 360 to 330. So there we already
Kananowicz is very quickly getting into the point where he can draft with Ashraf Lamar.
Yeah.
Will allow him to catch up to Lloyd.
Steneker in pits? What?
Yep. Steneker comes into pit.
But he was already in pits.
Yeah, he pit not too terribly long ago. That's an interesting one.
Maybe he needed to top up. Maybe he saw, whoops, I'm not going to get to the end of the race.
That's very possible.
He may have miscalculated.
Could be. Meanwhile, Kananowicz is getting around the inside of Ashraf Lamar. He's got leader Callum Lloyd in his sights, and he's catching up. Kananowicz could, for the first time in this race, be properly leading. If he can only get around Callum Lloyd. Callum Lloyd stands in his way, and boy does he. Ooh, Kananowicz getting a little bit loose through turn 3. Callum Lloyd's holding on to it, but not really going like gangbusters, like Kananowicz is. And Kananowicz has the overspeed. He looks towards the inside. Oh, he gets it done for the moment. Callum Lloyd hangs behind. Very, very close back to him. Now Callum Lloyd will hold on to the back of Kananowicz. Will he be content to lead? No, he will not. He's looking towards the inside, forcing Kananowicz into the outside line. Pushes him out, takes the lead again. "32 laps to go. It's Lloyd and Kananowicz here in the last part of this race. Reichel is sitting 21 seconds behind, almost 22 seconds behind, in 3rd place, just in case anything happens. Weird to not be talking about Honkian Steneker this way. Ooh, Kananowicz hits the wall a little bit. Takuma Satoing still fast. Yeah, really, really strange to not be thinking of Honkian Steneker this way, but he had to come into pit. And now he comes back out. He's got some work to do. 26.7 seconds behind Callum Lloyd.
30 and a half laps away from the race. So Steneker needs to be gaining around 1 second per lap, and that isn't there.
Yeah, Steneker right now, he's about 3 seconds away from Maximilian Reichel, a little bit less than that to Juan Del Castillo, lap down car in front of him on track. But he's still running all alone while Kananowicz and Lloyd are running with each other.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be against each other quite soon.
Teasdale just pit in. 30 laps left to go. Whoa! Lloyd hits the wall.
Oh, no.
Big scrape. He keeps it going straight though, somehow. But that was definitely a scratch. Be surprised if there weren't some sort of misalignment there. Kananowicz looking towards the outside, looking to capitalize on that mistake.
Yeah, but not a good
Callum
place
Lloyd
to do so.
outbrakes. I mean, I say outbrakes, but Callum Lloyd forces Kananowicz out. Oh, I'm seeing a yellow. Is that from this incident? No, it's not from this incident. Juan Del Castillo crashes hard into the wall, loses his front wing, rear wing, and right side tire. Not the first time that's happened to Juan Del Castillo.
That's gonna be a pace car.
That's definitely going to be a pace car. It's also going to bring Maximilian Reichel and Steneker back into this fight.
And we know what that means, especially when you have Steneker near you.
Absolutely. Well, this suddenly got real interesting, folks. Excited to see where this goes, because it really could go anywhere. We've got 4 very, very fast drivers who have all proven themselves. Callum Lloyd, Kananowicz, Reichel, Steneker, all there together, all on the lead lap. All of these drivers could rally and win this race.
I would say, barring any big kiss of the wall by any of them, Steneker first, now Kananowicz or Lloyd second. They're going to pits? What?
Steneker going into the pits surprises me because he just came into the pits not that long ago.
Lloyd and Kananowicz are going to pit, but Steneker too. What?
All four of your leaders are going into the pits at the same time. No driver has stayed out.
So, topping up the fuel just to be sure and changing.
I think this is going to be full tires for all of them. Callum Lloyd comes out first. Steneker comes out second. Reichel comes out third. Kananowicz is staying back. He has not come out yet. It might have been that these drivers just went with one side tires. You can do that in rFactor too. So they may have just gone with right side tires. And Kananowicz stayed to do the full service. But we'll still be under pits. Kananowicz will be able to catch up. He's not going to lose much time over this. You can go full throttle to catch up to these guys. The lights are still on, so we have at least 1 lap around to go. Yeah, honestly, I think whatever Kananowicz did that took longer, be it multiple sides of tires, or what have you, I think it probably is a good thing for him. Oh, a crash! A crash there, of all places. Tommy Teasdale hits the wall. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. Was there perhaps a collision with one of the leaders there?
What are they doing?
Okay. Tommy Teasdale, he crashed, but then he, accelerated forward to get his position back, for the restart, but because he crashed, he has no wings anywhere, no arrow on that car. So the moment he goes into a corner at full speed, he is just going to lose it and crash into the wall. I hope he knows. I hope he's looking down at his front or over at his rearview mirrors to see that he has no arrow. Okay, in he goes. In he goes, finally. Well, I guess now that was the next lap, because he had already passed the pit entrance. Okay.
No, he's in.
Yeah, he's in now. In the previous lap, by the time that he had crashed, he had already passed the pit entrance, so he couldn't just immediately come in. He had to go around the full lap. Well, it is Lloyd, Steneker, Reichel, and Kananowitz. It's going to be a four-way battle to the end.
So I'm predicting Steneker to take the first position soon-ish.
I'm predicting Lloyd to fight like hell to make sure that doesn't happen.
The one thing is that he's gonna fight. The other is that I'm pretty sure Steneker is gonna still get the first position.
Indeed. Oh my goodness, Juan Del Castillo cannot avoid penalties. I think it might be a server issue or something, but Juan Del Castillo has received yet another penalty coming out of the pits. And the lights are out on the pace car, so the next time we come around, it will be green. Maybe it'll be green to the finish, maybe it won't, but it will be green when we come around again. It will be lap 177 at that point. We'll have 22, 23, thereabouts laps to go. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. Alrighty, here we go. About to go back to green for some very, very exciting racing here. Callum Lloyd leads Steneker and Reichel. Kananowitz follows shortly behind. As soon as we cross the bricks, here we go. It's the Indy 500.
Steneker already getting near end. I thought he was going already for the overtake. Lloyd got a penalty.
Uh-oh. Oh, it could have been an early start, a false start, going before the restart zone. Oh boy. Well, that's Lloyd out of this. He can still FS up for the rest of them. But Steneker's out in front now. Lloyd comes in to serve his penalty. Oh my goodness, that's not how Lloyd wanted to end this race. Although technically it's not over till it's over. We could still have a green flag, or I'm sorry, a yellow flag and he could find a way to catch up, but looks like Steneker out in front by 2 seconds. Kananowicz 2 seconds away. Reichel very, very, very close to Kananowicz. But yes, your prediction came true. Steneker out in front, way out in front at this point. 2.5 seconds. He has taken off all the stops. Kananowicz trying to shake Reichel from that draft, but Reichel is not having it. He's glued to the back of Kananowicz. Ready to strike at any minute now.
Getting good speed on the straight. Not good enough.
Coming around now, this is lap 180, 20 laps to go. Now Callum Lloyd, he is a lap down, but he is still in 4th place. He is just off the podium. So all 3 of these drivers here, Reichel, Kananowicz, and Steneker, they are all fighting for positions on the podium unless something happens, and boy, it's Indianapolis, it sure can.
And it has already. Often enough.
Oh, often enough. I thought you were about to announce an incident.
Luckily not.
Luckily not. Kananowicz has found some speed. Reichel losing a little bit of it, but I think that's just because Kananowicz is getting quicker. It looks like Kananowicz is actually hanging behind a lap down car. I think
Isn't that Lloyd?
that is Callum Lloyd. That's actually Callum Lloyd there.
So he is where he would have wanted to be, only not in the lap he would have wanted to be.
Absolutely. He could. Callum Lloyd, definitely the one who would benefit from a caution flag right now with the Lucky Dog wave around, if he could only manage to get it.
And in case any Formula 1 fans are asking themselves, why is Lloyd fighting? Because he's right. There is no blue flags in Indy.
Absolutely. He's fast, he's running his own race, and again, with strategy and all of that plays out, you could be very off-kilter to another driver, you know, a full lap or 2 down, but you're still in the fight with them because that's your strategy. Your strategy is to be a lap or 2 down at this point. You'll last longer and they'll have to pit more, that sort of thing. And so, you know, yeah, why would you have to give the position up to somebody who you could absolutely still come back and beat? Because it's not over until it's over.
Between Indy and Formula 1.
Pardon?
One of the many differences between Indy and Formula 1.
Oh, yes.
Normally in Formula 1, if you're a lap down, there is normally no strategy that is going to get you near the podium.
Dude. Maximilian Reichel here in 3rd. He's kind of weaving in and out on the interval. 1.6 seconds back right now. He really wishes that would be more, but Kananowicz and Lloyd are right beside each other. Kananowicz, I think, is trying to use Lloyd to get closer to Steneker, who is at this point almost 9 seconds ahead. Lap 184 of 200. 16 laps to go. Counting down, and it's going to count down quickly. All of these drivers are doing high 40s, low 41s. Mike-Jan Steneker did a 40.820. Next fastest, Kananowicz did a 41.586. Actually, Callum Lloyd with a 41.299. So Steneker totally on another level right now. 9.5 seconds ahead. 9.6, 9.7. Steneker is running away with it. exactly what he needs to do right now. He's out in front. He's got to stay out in front. 10 seconds ahead.
But it's clear that Steneker's setup is much better than all the others. Because he
Absolutely.
may be a great driver, but
That
it's also a setup thing. We've already observed that he is able to drive much faster on straights and on corners than the others, and that is a setup thing.
Absolutely. Kananowicz in second. I'm sure he would be very satisfied if he could take home second. Just hold on to it till the finish. Not satisfied. Callum Lloyd, he's in fourth. He's just off the podium. Very, very close to glory, but he cannot get there in time. Unless something happens, and anything can.
That penalty was not a good.
No, he did not want that. Starting off from the lead down into fourth. Heartbreaking for Callum Lloyd.
On the other hand, he should have kept his foot off the throttle just a little bit more.
Yeah, it was so close. I could not visually tell that he had jumped the gun on that.
But now Kananowicz is also getting away from Lloyd and from any danger in the fight with Lloyd. Reichel very far away.
Yeah, at this point they've really, really stratified. They're pretty far away from each other. It was looking like a very close race, but unfortunately I think since Lloyd's penalty it's become anything but.
Yeah, I think
Steneker in front, Kananowicz in second, Reichel in third. Yes, sorta.
I agree. If Lloyd would have kept that position, it would have been a much closer fight. It's lonely at the top. It's 10 laps to go until the end of the race. Laps are nothing here. Less than 10 minutes.
If Callum Lloyd had his lap back, he would currently be in third. Maximilian Reichel would be right behind him. However, that is not the case.
I got the information from race control. Lloyd was penalized for avoidable contact on the yellow.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe he was the reason why who was at Teesdale went into the wall?
Oh, that's possible, because Teasdale did indeed go into the wall at that point. Yeah, could be. Very much could be.
So just to give you an impression, the qualifying of Indy has ended, and the fastest one was Scott Dixon with 334 miles per hour.
Oof. Wild. That's like 230 something miles an hour for you American folk.
Second Polo, third VK. Still, I mean, VK keeping third position after the fast 12. Great. Coming back to this race, 7 laps to go. Steneker 16 seconds away from Kananowicz. Steneker has been fast during all these laps, only having issues with, I don't know, his network or something, being thrown back over and over again, and he's gonna finish first. 5 laps to go. I'd be surprised if he wouldn't.
That's got to be painful for Kyle Vasa to see Steneker out in front there.
Yeah, so many of these drivers plagued by technical issues with their systems.
Absolutely. It happens. It's part of sim racing, but unfortunate. 5 laps remaining in this race. Jan Steneker, dominant right now. 19 seconds, 18 and a half seconds ahead of Kananowicz.
Steneker first, Kananowicz second, Reichel third, Lloyd far away fourth.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Big crash. Looked like that was Callum Lloyd on turn 4.
He needed that.
Yeah. Lap 198 of 200. Looks like we're going to end this race under caution.
Yeah.
Well, considering all of these laps, or all of these cautions have been 5 laps, thereabout. It looks like this is the end of the race, so the drivers will come around, finish this race under yellow. Kind of an anticlimactic finish to it. Man, Callum Lloyd really having a hard time there. Getting that thing brought back around. That was a tough spot to crash because he didn't immediately come into the pits, and so he's got to come all the way around here, cutting across the grass, going onto the service road. So, your winner, Jan Steneker. Andres Kananowicz in second. Maximilian Reichel, consistent, always there, takes third. Callum Lloyd, he was a real strong contender for the win, but unfortunately he brings home fourth, just shy of the podium. Atref Lamar few laps down from the leaders, but he does round out your top 5. Tommy Teasdale in 6th, bringing it home. Ed Bailey in 7th in the number 7 Dallara IR18. And then Juan Del Castillo rounds out number 8. Your
Not
top
exactly consistent, but
finishers.
he's kept in the race.
Absolutely. So there are your drivers. We started with 16. And the Brickyard is a cruel mistress. And we finished with 8. Of all the drivers who survived, Hank-Jan Stenneker takes home the win. We'll hang along until the very official end of this as we drive around under pace car conditions. This time in one more, but what?
No. I was like, for these drivers being behind the pace car, it's gonna feel as if they're driving a Vespa.
Yeah. Oh, I see, yes. Yeah, can you believe it? These drivers are doing 90 miles an hour. You do 90 miles an hour on the highway, that's 120. What's that in kilometers an hour? If you're doing 60 miles an hour, you're doing 100 kilometers an hour. If you're doing 120 kilometers an hour, that's... if you're doing 120 miles an hour, that's 200 kilometers an hour. So you're around to 180, 160-ish.
My cruising speed when I'm on the Autobahn.
Yeah, so around there.
The electric car, not that much.
Yeah, in an Indycar, it feels like you're stopped.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. This is the last lap. Lap 200 of 200. Coming around the backstretch for the final time. Thank you, everybody who tuned in for the Indy 500 with Global Enduro. This was a great race. It's sort of become a yearly tradition for us. And it's one of the highlights of the year, I would say. I quite like tagging along with Serta to help commentate this wonderful race. It always generates some great racing, and this time around it definitely did. Last time it was the Russian team that I believe took the win. They came in with 4, one of them won, and they took I think 2 of the top spots. And this time around it was just all individuals, and individually Hank-Jan Stenneker took home the race win. Kananowicz, here we are, officially crossing the line in 2nd. In 3rd, Maximilian Reichel. Callum Lloyd brings it home in 4th. Ashraf Lamar in 5th. Thank you all for tuning in one last time. Serta, do you want to bring us out, or is there anything else we want to cover?
No, I think that would be it. To everyone, have a wonderful night. Thank you very much for being here. And until the next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.